2, 3, 4.
Good day, mates, and good morning, my brothers and sisters. This is our 11th episode of the Good Morning Guys podcast. Whether you're out in the bush, pulling a sickie and being a dough bludger, sitting around in your bathers or budgie smugglers and thinking about having a bobby for brekkie, or doing something else entirely different, thanks for joining us on this fine morning, arvo, evening, or night, as we continue discussing the game of life amidst the other games we love to watch and play. I am one of your hosts, the one and only Brazilian bogan mountaineer, Lucas Ham. And also with me, the judge, jury, and executioner of fake news, Patrick Novosel.
Do you ever get like a cut on your finger and you don't know where you got it from? You just look down and all of a sudden you're bleeding?
Sometimes if they're right around your nail, they sting really bad.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, do I need a Band-Aid? Because I haven't noticed me having a cut for like 2 hours. So I don't know. Do I just wash it off or do I...
And trying to give emotional support to Patrick Novosel, our resident renegade of few words but many laughs, Ronnie J.
Hello. Yeah, those are bad, Pat. Those are horrible. I agree.
And last, but certainly not least, a guy with music in his heart and Doctor Who on his brain, Marc Boucher.
Hello to all our fans, except for the Australian ones. Goodbye.
No way. They totally enjoyed that intro.
How do you say hello in
like...
Australian? Is it hello?
Oi!
Oi?
G'day.
Oi?
Or g'day. There's lots of options.
G'day.
I like it.
If this is your first time joining us, welcome. If it's not, I'm not sure why you're here, but welcome back anyways. Before we begin and get into things, as usual, it's time for a very short housekeeping visit. Shout out to Australia, one of our top listening countries this week. As Mark alluded to, perhaps they will not be listening again next week, but I hope they enjoyed a little bit of the language that I tried to speak of theirs and using some of their, whatever they're called, gírias. I can only think of the Portuguese word. Expressions, that's the word. So if you guys want to know what budgie smugglers are, or if you're interested to know what brekkie is, or a dole bludger, feel free to ask anytime.
One of my favorite words is the bloke. Aye, bloke.
Hey, we doing bloke? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
The bludger isn't that the thing from Harry Potter?
What bludger?
I think that's a weapon.
I think it is called a bludger.
I think that's a weapon that Irish guy from Gangs in New York carried.
Could be.
You bludgered
I believe
people
that's
with a bludger,
right on.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, let's move on.
Well, when I looked it up, bludger was apparently a lazy person, or a person who likes to
Be lazy.
Be lazy. Yeah, I mean, how many other ways I don't feel like looking it up. So too much of a bludger to figure it out.
So
anywho, along with our Australian friends, we're also wanting to give a shout out to our 2 reviewers this week.
What?
Oh,
that were me and Patrick.
2 reviewers.
Oh, you wrote one too? Nice.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so I'm not going to read them or anything like that. But hey, we got 4 reviews now. And once we hit 5, something crazy or weird is going to happen. And I have no idea what it is yet.
I feel like that's...
One of you guys got to do it.
I feel like that's not
figure
fair.
It out fast.
Who's up at 5?
I feel like that's really not fair.
It's not fair.
I think it's me. Me at 5. Because Ronnie, you're at 20. So we needed to hurry it up.
Right.
Yeah. So Patrick's going to do
I'm
something
saying it's
crazy.
not fair.
It's just a wild and crazy guy.
Yes, he is.
Nice.
Yes.
I'm saying it's not fair because y'all both wrote reviews for our own podcast.
Yeah, but I waited 10 episodes before I wrote a review. I made sure to get all the information.
Okay, so that makes it all
You listened
better.
first.
That's right. That makes it all better. And also in my review, the title of my review is a very biased review. So I was quite clear.
Well, I'm glad you covered yourself.
That's right. Thank you very much. I did. So that's all the housekeeping I had. So let's just jump right into the what's new news. Let's gather around that old watering cooler get to chatting, talking about what's new in our lives, what's new in video games, sports, general media, all those fun things. So why don't we start with good old Marc Boucher? Tell us something good, brother.
I feel like you're starting with the person that had probably the most boring week. Mine was very uneventful. It's pretty much status quo. I mean, I did do a few things, like had date night with the wife, but that's pretty much the usual. I wouldn't go that far. But...
Oh no!
Well, feel free to make something up. No one else will know the difference. So
she listens. He can't.
She doesn't really listen.
Oh.
But anyway.
Here's your chance, man.
Well, date night was at Chili's, which is always a good time.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, usually date night consists of like going out to dinner and then like watching a television show or something like that. Like I think the big show that we're watching lately is DC's Titans, which is on the DC Universe streaming service that they just came out with not too long ago.
Yeah, how is that?
That show is awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm very happy with the show. Now, obviously they've leaned a little hard into the grim dark vibe. Not so much grim dark, but like, you know, there are F-bombs dropped and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure like one of the first lines from the first episode, Robin says F Batman. So
okay.
Wow.
Tell us how you really feel, Robin.
So yeah. So there's a little bit of language there, but the overall storyline and other than the language, I think honestly, Brenton Thwaites, who he plays Robin on the show, I think he's probably the best Robin we've ever had live action, which is not saying much because we've had him and Chris O'Donnell. Literally.
Now wait, doesn't Gordon Jr. What's his name? Gordon Levitt Jr. He counts like a little bit, doesn't he?
He does not. He does not count. That was like some little side, like what's the word? Like sort of Easter egg thing. Like, oh, what's your middle name or your first name? Robin. That's about it. But in terms of the actual like Dick Grayson character, there's this guy, Brenton Thwaites, and Chris O'Donnell. So that's not saying much. But,
and the guy on the Adam West Batman.
Oh, yeah, there's Burt Ward, too. But I feel like that's comparing apples and oranges. Because I feel like 66 Batman kind of stands out on its own.
Now, did Robin... Is it the storyline where Robin becomes Nightwing, or is that a totally different character? Different person?
That's... It seems to be that's where they're leading towards is him becoming Nightwing. Right now he's the cool thing about this is that they're actually not taking the Netflix approach where they just drop all the episodes and you binge it. They actually release it every Friday. So it's a new episode.
So you have to
week.
Keep your subscription going. That's what they're trying to do.
Basically. Yeah, basically. But it's worth it to me. Because not only do you get to watch Titans, you get to watch like a whole bunch of other, you know, DC animated and live action stuff. It's just all part of the service. So yeah, like Batman the Animated Series, like the high definition version, like the entire series is on there. All the old like, you know, Batman Returns, all those kind of movies. The Superman movies are on there, by the way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Isn't it, Ronnie? Interesting.
Yes, it is.
But in any case, I'm really enjoying the show so far. It's been good to see this sort of take on the Titans, on Teen Titans, and sort of unraveling the backstory. Obviously, I love all the sort of nods to like the Batman universe and stuff like that. I'm not going to spoil it.
Is Batman in
there's plenty of
show?
nods there. Yes and no.
He will
probably
he's alluded to, or
yeah,
is he
basically
actually... Okay.
He's a ghost.
There are things about Batman that are alluded to. They're not afraid to say Bruce or Bruce Wayne or Batman specifically. And there are certain aspects of Batman's, like the villains that he's involved with. Like, I'm pretty sure they name dropped Joker at one point. And there is a certain vehicle that you happen to catch sight of in the show.
In this show, it's called Teen Titans. Are all of these heroes in like teenagers? Is that what this is?
It's just called Titans.
It's Titans. Okay.
Yeah. So.
But it's the live action version of Teen Titans, right?
Correct, but they're not all necessarily teenagers.
Right. That's why it's just Titans.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like
Okay.
Robin is old enough to where he is a cop on this show. He's actually an established detective, like police detective. So he's certainly not a teenager. And like Starfire is older. Who else is there? I think Raven, honestly, is the only one that's kind of in her teens. She's like 13 or 14 years old.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's been a great story so far, and it's great to see them allude to all the different, types of DC lore that's there. I'm like I said, I'm personally enjoying it. So,
how many episodes have there been so far?
They've released 6. I think the total is 11.
Okay.
So yeah, they're just at the halfway point.
Are these like 42-minute long episodes?
It's like 45 minutes to an hour, something like that. Yep.
Okay. All right. I wonder if there's like a free trial going on. I might wait until there's like 10 episodes in and do a free trial or something like that.
There is a 7-day free trial, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but in my opinion, it is worth it to watch. Do they take some liberties with the backstories of the characters? Yeah. Pretty much every show does in some way, shape, or form. Even Marvel takes liberties on the different characters. Their backstories are not, one-to-one. But in any case...
that's fine.
Yeah. But I'm very much enjoying it. So we watched that on Friday night, and then of course we did the La Coretta thing on Saturday with the in-laws, and then Sunday for my youth group I actually brought my PS4 and we played some Fibbage with the youth group, which is a Jackbox game. So
nice.
That was awesome. They always enjoy that. So that was a great time. And then of course tonight actually I came from Chili's again with my in-laws this time. That's pretty much our thing is going out to eat. That's our quality time a lot of times. So
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So I got to hang out with the fam for a little bit. So yeah, that was pretty much my week. In terms of gaming, I think the only gaming I really did was some Black Ops 4. I think with Pat and with Eric, another buddy of ours, which is always a good time. I really need to work on. I've really noticed this about myself. I've been really bad about finishing games. I've been good about starting them, but not finishing them. I haven't finished Spider-Man. I haven't finished God of War. I haven't finished Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I'm trying to think what else I haven't finished, but there's several games that I just haven't finished yet.
Okay. All right. Number 1, finish Spider-Man.
Yep.
Just play that only. Play that only and finish Spider-Man, because that Spider-Man story is awesome.
I think I'm about halfway through the main story. I've done a lot of the side stuff.
That's when it starts to ramp up. Yes, play that.
Mark, what do you think is what do you think's at the root of your not finishing games? Is this unusual for you, or have you always kind of
it's been
gone with however you felt, or gone with the flow or whatever?
I think it's been just my work schedule and the fact that like when I get home I kind of just want to chill out and like watch TV. Like, a lot of times I watch other people play video games and don't play a lot of video games myself. Like, I put a lot of Twitch on and I'll watch that for a while and just chill out. I think actually I tweeted that I like to watch Bob Ross on occasion, just because.
I watched that last week.
Yeah, just because he's so chill.
It was so relaxing.
Yeah.
I could not believe how relaxed I was after I watched that.
But yeah, I just, for some reason, I have to be in like a certain mood, or I just have to force myself. Like, listen, you need to play some of this. So, which, I mean, I have fun when I play it. I just have to force myself over that hump.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's pretty much my week. Patrick, how was your week, sir?
My week? So I didn't, like you, didn't really do much. On Saturday, though, me and my family, we put up our Christmas decorations. Now, we like to do that the week before Thanksgiving, because right after Thanksgiving, once that holiday season hits, you know, we always have stuff going on the weekends with family coming in town, get-togethers, dinners, cousins coming in from all over. My brother's coming in from Denver, so we usually try to get that out of the way before all that holiday stuff comes in. So we put up our Christmas decorations, we put up our tree. I didn't put up our lights because I'll put up our lights outside because some of the strands that we put on our tree no longer worked. So we had to use the lights from the outside to put up on our tree. So we don't really have any light. We have like lights for the bushes, but not lights for the house. So we need to go out.
Melody's like, Patrick, these lights on this tree are so bright. Why are they so bright? Yeah, they might be outside lights. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Just go with it, okay?
Yeah. So,
here, just put these shades on.
Right? Yeah. It lights up the entire house. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so we did that, and then after we got done with that, I took the kids out with my brother and his two kids to the park. It was like 50 degrees on Saturday. It was amazing. So we went to the park, and then on our way to the park, we saw that there was a train show right down the street. So we went to that right after the park, and Clark was really enthralled because these guys, it's like a group of like older gentlemen who get together and they just like make trains. They make sets. They all collect all their trains. So it was a pretty big train set. So that was really neat. I mean, it was all like, looked like it was all from like the 40s and 50s. So you got all the 50s and 40s kind of cars. There was a lot of old buildings like McDonald's and steel mills and things like that. So that was really cool to see. They had like 3 trains going around the entire track. So the kids really like that.
Mark, tell your dog to shut his face.
Cisco,
shut it.
I can't. My wife is coming in the door, so there's only so much I can do about that. I'm sorry.
You need to be like, I'm the alpha, Cisco. Keep it down now.
Well, I was trying to not acknowledge it and yell at my dog.
Oh, that's part of the experience, my friend. You need to draw people into your lives.
Okay,
way funnier if you
fine.
did that on
Here we go.
Cisco, shut up!
There you go.
Yes. Mom, the meatloaf.
Ma!
Tina, eat your food.
Continue, Patrick.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's it for me. On the gaming front, been playing a lot of Red Dead. I played some Overwatch, and that's pretty much all I've been playing. As far as the news, I got 3 news stories for you guys.
Count them.
They're either real news or fake news, and you got to figure them out.
Ooh, you're gonna
wait a minute. Do we know how many are real and how many are fake?
You do not.
Just said it.
You got to determine. Out of the 3,
we're guessing yes or no.
Yes,
right.
Yes, it is fake news or real news. So, first one, Frankie Muniz. He is one of the stars from Malcolm in the Middle. So his house
fake news
was destroyed by water because while he was out of town for 3 days, his cat had turned on the faucet and it ran for 3 days, destroying almost his entire house.
That's so true. It's too many details. That's true news.
Just
That's
wait
my
for the
name.
other options, though.
Is that real news or fake news?
Oh, we need to give the answer
better
now? Okay.
Yeah, sure, right now.
Yeah, just
It's fake news.
Come
I'm going to go with... Oh, everybody went at the same time. I'm going with real news.
yeah, I'm with Ronnie.
That is real news.
Ah!
Yes!
1 for 1, Ronnie. That's batting 1,000. I think I'm going to retire now. I'm good.
Get out of here, Mark. This is an elimination round.
Okay, that's fine. I'll sit back.
All right.
No problem.
Second news story. Earlier today, Microsoft announced that it will also be removing itself from the E3 2019 in favor of doing their own annual conference. XO18 did so well this past year that they will be doing 2 of them next year, one in the spring and one in the fall.
That's fake news.
Fake news.
I'm going with real news also.
That is fake news.
In fact, they did the exact opposite of that. They were like,
Yes.
nope, well, we're going to have some good stuff at E3 this year.
Yeah, they're pretty much going to own E3 next year, for sure, since Sony's not doing it.
Oh, yeah, because that's fair, them owning E3 next year. It's like them against the high school team.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's only good for Microsoft.
Was that yet
They're gonna
was
be
that
showing
yet
all the
another
third
shot
party-
at Nintendo?
They're like the last ones to jump off the Titanic. We win. We win. We were the last ones.
Yeah. Okay, and the last one, John Cryer. He's from 2.5 Men alongside Charlie Sheen.
Men.
He's been cast as the next Lex Luthor.
That is real news.
Real news.
It is real news. Now,
Which is
I
the
saw
weirdest
this and I
thing
was
ever.
like,
Mark sounded so
John
sure of himself.
Cryer.
I was going...
John Cryer, to me, does not look like he'd be a Lex Luthor. Looks like he'd be more like a Jimmy Olsen than a Lex Luthor. So I looked at it a little further and I found out that he was actually Lex Luthor's nephew in Superman 4. The Superman 4
Which is
movie
probably
that no one watched.
I was going to say the least liked of the Superman movies.
Yeah.
I definitely did not watch that.
See, here's the funny thing. I think John Cryer is more of a Lex Luthor than Jesse Eisenberg was. Just saying.
Agreed.
Real news.
Real news.
Yeah, but
Real
I think you would have never picked Heath Ledger to be the Joker either.
It's true. It's true.
True.
And he was incredible.
True.
I always go back to that argument.
It was.
Anytime.
Yep. So that's it for real news or fake news.
Nice.
Ronnie, how was your week?
I'm up. My week was good. You guys are never going to guess what I did this week.
Not watch
You watched
Superman?
You watched Superman.
I did not watch Superman.
Called it!
Dang it! Should have followed my gut.
No, the correct answer was, what is a volleyball tournament?
Yeah, never would have guessed. You're right.
Oh wow, that came out of left field. I didn't see that coming.
So I did.
It's the
I
wrong
haven't,
game,
haven't
Mark.
played
Lucas.
back-to-back tournaments in a while, and my body is
right.
crying. But this tournament was a lot different than the last one. It was, you sign up as an individual, and you randomly play 7 matches with like computer-generated teams. So basically, you get placed on a random team every single time for 7 games, and the person that comes out with the most points for their teams, like the top 8 people, were in the money. So
Cisco again.
basically,
Cisco, shut up!
it's getting out of control. His alarm's going to go off any second.
I know, right? Take your medicine, Mark. Take your medicine.
So anyways, this volleyball tournament, I only lost once by only 2 points. So I was like, all right, I got a pretty decent shot at this. The top 8 place, I don't know how many players there were. There were probably 50 at least. So I was like, all right, top 8, like I got this. And I finished 9th.
Oh,
Just out of the money.
dang.
I'm sorry.
But it was really fun. Like I played with a ton of people that, normally I wouldn't play with, people you don't know. You go out there and you start talking to new people. It was really just a cool tournament because everybody's just out there playing with people they've never played with before. And I thought initially when I read about it, I was like, I don't know if I would like that or not. But like we went down there with a group of friends and stuff. It was a really good time. But other than that, my week was fairly boring, pretty normal. the one thing that I did is went out and bought a Christmas tree this weekend. Actually.
Nice.
I know. So
A real one or a fake one?
I did buy a fake one, pre-lit also.
Oh, those are the best.
easy.
I love those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It was awesome. No, the pine needle thing with the real tree, that sounds awful.
No.
But I will tell you, there is glitter like everywhere, because apparently this tree also had like a little bit of glitter on it, and it's just absolutely everywhere.
That's even
What?
worse.
It's like
I'm
just
sorry.
It's like just sprinkled in, I guess. I don't know.
You bought a glitter tree, Ronnie?
Pretty much.
Dude,
Pretty much did.
come on.
Yep. I'm going to tell you, though, it looks really adult now that it's up. I mean, it looks like a real
It
human
looks
being.
really adult.
Yeah. I mean,
Fake
people are going to be
news.
impressed, I can tell you that.
Fake news.
But I went out and did that, which is...
Hold on,
I don't know.
we need to go back to this glitter tree.
Glitter tree.
How did you accidentally buy a glitter tree, or was
you-
that intentional? I don't
Did you
understand.
recognize it had glitter on it? When you
No,
got
so
it?
it's one of those trees. It's like a pine tree, but on the ends, it's like a little bit brown, so it looks like a pine tree in the forest.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Interesting.
And then
So I think that stuff was
glitter
coming
pine
off.
trees.
It was like, I guess it was all glittery. I don't know.
The old brown glitter?
There's no glitter left on the tree. It's
It's
all
like
on
what
my
comes
floor.
out of a unicorn's butt.
That's pretty much right. That was the brand,
It's a
actually.
unicorn tree. Nice.
Unicorn
Even
butt
better.
tree, my favorite.
But I did that, which is nice. Like I only had one Christmas decoration basically in my whole house, so I decided, I guess it's time to get a Christmas tree. So I got it all set up nice in the window in the front, so you turn it on at night, like it looks really cool.
All right.
It's got like 8 different settings for the lights. I mean, this thing is like a disco ball. Like it's pretty sweet.
So when you're dancing in your underwear, you just change the light. You know, the
Yeah, it
light
depends on
effects
what song.
to match what songs you're doing.
It depends on the genre of music. I mean,
Of course.
you never know.
Yeah.
Heavy metal, it's just flashing nonstop, all these neon colors. But other than that, my week was pretty boring. I did not get around to watching Superman.
You're killing me, man. This is the 5th week.
30% now, right?
Are we up to 30%?
Was it
Yeah,
25
you're
or
up to
30?
30%.
I mean, I didn't agree to go up one time every week. I don't think.
You don't have a
I'm pretty
choice
sure
in
you
the
don't.
matter.
You don't have exactly. I'm with Mark. You don't have a choice. You bought glitter tree. You bought a unicorn. A unicorn anal dust tree. It's.
I am posting this beautiful tree in the Discord channel, so you guys
Do
can
it.
so you guys can all be like, oh, that does look pretty good. That does look
Yeah.
nice.
I can see it now. My show notes for the week will be: the guys talk about anal dust.
Yep.
It's like, what is this?
Oh gosh, that would be awful. And then a disclosure that says, "Do not Google anal dust."
Nor
Never.
unicorn anal dust for that matter.
That's a lot safer. It sounds like the unicorn part.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, bought a tree. Yeah, played the volleyball tournament. Didn't watch Superman. Played a lot of Red Dead Redemption because I have a serious problem. I got on that game for 2 hours last night, and I didn't do a single thing except for get a new horse. And I was only trying to do that for like, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, you just can't. I don't know. You just can't do anything. You just end up getting like a ton of missions, and then you got stuff all over your map. You don't know which one to go to, so you're just going. You're just riding around for an hour and a half, and that's about it. That's all I've been doing. How about you, Lucas?
Sounds magical.
It's been pretty great, actually.
Well, we have one thing going on for us. I don't know if Mark didn't divulge it. I mean, I imagine he didn't set up for Christmas. Mark, did you set up for Christmas this week? When do you usually set up for Christmas? I'm curious.
I usually wait till after Thanksgiving. I like to give Thanksgiving its due, and then I go into Christmas stuff.
Amen. I used to be hardcore like you, and then I moved to Brazil, and like there's nothing in Brazil that indicates Christmas is coming. Like there's no snow, there's no Christmas music on the radio. There are no decorations anywhere. Nobody does anything to indicate that Christmas is coming. And so each year we're like, we got to put up our decorations earlier. Like November 1st, I remember telling my wife this year, I was like, let's just put our decorations up. But so much stuff was happening, we ended up not doing it. But we did it today.
Nice. Yeah,
Nice.
I'm trying to hold off. There have been so many temptations that have pushed me into the possibility of doing it early, but so far we have not. We have held off. But what I would love to get, and they're just so expensive though, is the if you've ever heard of a flocked tree. Do you know what that is?
I think
Nope.
so. You have to remind me what that is.
Okay, so
I don't
basically, you can do this like you can buy it already done, or you can actually with a real tree, you can have it done. Basically, they make it look like there's snow on the tree. That's called flocking.
Okay. Yep. That's what I had thought. But
Yeah. I would love
I
one of
forgot.
those, but they're always like so much more expensive than like a normal tree. I mean, we have a Christmas tree already, but I would love one of those in my living room. But anyways, nope, I have not decorated.
Fair enough. My grandma used to set up a white tree, but it did not look like it was like a tree covered in snow. It was just literally a white tree, like it was albino, and it had a pigmentation problem. So
Nice.
I never was a big fan of the flocked because it made it seem a little artificial. Because it's never going to snow in my house, so why in the world would the tree in my house have the snow? But no offense to those who want to do the flocked tree. I think it's cool and it looks nice.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, we still value you guys as a listener.
You what?
I said we still value those people as a listener who like the
Of
flock
course,
tree.
yeah. If you dig the flock trees, hey, send us your pictures. We'd love to see a good flock tree.
Please write us a review as well. A good one.
Yeah, we need number 5 so that Patrick does something crazy and silly.
Shaving his head.
Yes. No, better yet, shaving the middle of his head only and leaving the rest of his head with hair.
I think he shave everything except for his mustache.
I did that last year for No Shave November. I just did everything except my mustache.
You left it, huh?
Nice.
Nice. So, back to Christmas decorations. So, we set up our Christmas decorations actually today. And we got the old tree out. It's a very small, I'm looking at it right now, and it's a cute little self. It's a very small Christmas tree. When we moved to Brazil, we did not bring many of our Christmas decorations, and we definitely did not bring our pre-lit, is that what you call it? What do you call it when the lights are in it already?
Pre-lit.
Pre-lit?
Yeah, what I said, I guess I was right. You can just edit out where I said it wrong, right?
Or leave it in.
Patrick?
Nope.
Great, fantastic. Love you too. So we just left our pre-lit tree back in the U.S. and we found a decently priced tree here in Brazil. There aren't really many options, but we went with it. And we got out our decorations. We got out our lights. I plugged the lights in and none of them lit up. And I'm like, here we go. And I started jiggling the lights around and half of them lit up. And then I literally took out each light and switched it with a light that worked in every single one. And I still only ended up with half a strand of lights. So I went with it. And I got, I guess, semi-creative. And I shoved the lights towards the inside of the tree so that I could get more distance covered. And so
Smart.
we have a lit tree. It's got ornaments on it. And went with it. So we had our Christmas decorating today. That was a good time. And this past week, I was at a missionary conference, missionary orientation and training conference, which was really cool. I got to meet like 25, 30 people that all want to be missionaries, either in or outside of Brazil, and got to be a part of kind of like a mission team to help train them and certify them and kind of continue them in the process of becoming missionaries. So that was really awesome. It was like a 4-day thing. Went with the entire family, my in-laws, my wife and kids, and we were all there together hanging out. And it was really good. Then after that, we visited some friends in a nearby city, and we had ourselves a bobby, shrimp on the bobby. Actually, we didn't have any shrimp, but we did have a bobby. Here they call barbecue a churrasco. And let me tell you, folks, that Brazilians know how to cook on the barbecue.
On the
Not
churrasco.
only, that's right. Not only do they do the finest form of firing up the grill, as in they only use charcoal. They never use gas. But they don't use very many seasonings. They just salt, salt the steak, the meat, and it is scrumptiddlyumptious. It is just so good and tasty. So we had ourselves a good old barbecue on Saturday, sometime during the weekend. And then yesterday we returned home, and then today, like I said, we set up Christmas stuff. Did a little reading with my son, and he's 5 years old, and so it's really fun. I don't know if you've noticed this, Patrick, with your kids, but with my kids, my younger child, my son, he's learning stuff faster because of my older daughter, who's kind of like,
oh yeah, sure, definitely,
giving him like I want to be. I don't know if I want to beat you or I want to be right there with you or whatever, but he's reading a lot faster than she ever did, and it's really cool to see and experience. So
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, on the gaming front, I didn't do a lot of the classic Nintendo challenge this week. I slowed down a little bit, but I did beat a couple levels in the Nintendo Dark Souls of Ghosts and Goblins, and man, that game is hard. It is so hard. I played a level today where it was just endless amounts of gargoyle creatures that have a weird name like Aremar or something. I don't know, like a red Aremar. But anyways, they're like when I first started the game, there was one in the first level, and it took most of my time trying to get past it. And then in this third level, there were easily 5 of them, and they just kept coming at me. And then I got to the end of the level, and I got attacked by this very large dragon. And you would know, throw your knives or your javelins or whatever at it, and it would slowly dissolve its tail until all there was left was his head floating around everywhere. And I'm just throwing my javelins at this head, and I have
makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. That seems realistic. And I'm trying to kill this dragon, and it won't die. I have like a minute and a half, almost a minute, and that's a long time for the level, because the level, I think they give you 4 minutes to get through the level. And so I got to the dragon with a minute and a half. And I used up all my time trying to kill it, and I thought it had glitched out, so I restarted to earlier in the level to where I still had a minute and a half, but I got a different kind of weapon, and I beat him in 5 seconds. And so it was really weird. I'd spent all that time using and I think maybe it was partly because I was using you have the javelin is your basic weapon, and then you can pick up knives or pick up fireballs or something to fight with. And so I learned my lesson there. But in playing this classic Nintendo challenge, I've realized after these last 7-8 games that I've been playing that I really miss modern games. I'm still, playing through Rayman Legends. I'm about a week and a half away from the platinum. I'm so close I can smell it.
Yes.
So close. I just have to do those daily challenges and get gold trophies. But I'm a week and a half from that. Today I actually got a platinum in a really popular game that's really well known called Psycho Pass Mandatory Happiness. You've heard it, right? Ronnie, you've played it 3 times at least.
Yep.
Liar.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I've never even heard that name.
That is such a real name. I was playing it on the Vita, and it's just a graphic novel that you play through and you pick options. And I don't even know what the story was. I just played through it for the platinum and would play it on the side because I didn't have to think much, and just got myself those good old digital trophies. But outside of that, I haven't done a whole lot of modern gaming, and I really wanted to play Spider-Man. And so I'm thinking that about every 10 games that I play on the Nintendo Classics, I'm going to have to take a break. And so I think after I beat Ghosts and Goblins and play another game or 2, I'm going to jump on that old Spider-Man and see what it's like to play modern games again. Also, I've been reading a lot about Fallout 76, and I have got to find a way to get that game, because I just found out today that my town is actually in the game, and that's so cool.
Oh, nice.
Interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, I was reading an article and it mentioned the Grafton Monster. And I'm like, the Grafton Monster? I'm from Grafton. I wonder if that, because I had never heard, growing up in Grafton, West Virginia, I'd never heard about the Grafton Monster. So I looked it up, and sure enough, there's some legend in my old town where there's this monster just called the Grafton Monster. So original, right? And it goes up and down the river in my town and attacks people, and it's big and scary and all that jazz. But it just got me looking into it. And then Arctic Warlock said earlier today that he actually did a mission from Grafton the other day. So I'm hoping either, I don't know, find some way to get it by the end of the year, but I'd love to play it. Maybe someday.
They should have called you up. You could have cameoed in the game.
I should have. That would have been sweet.
Well, good luck because the reviews on it are not good.
Yeah, I'd heard that.
Nope, they are not.
Sad day. Well, it's definitely not West Virginia's fault, so I don't know what Bethesda's up to, but they need to pull it together. You know, and with this, just this missing of modern games, I feel like, Mark, you have maybe some modern gaming news for me, or for us, for that matter, that you could share with us.
A little bit of modern news for you.
I need a fix. So why don't you share it with me so I feel a little more in touch with current gaming.
Well, here comes your fix. Last week they actually went ahead and announced the nominees for the Game Awards. That happen every year. Jeff Keighley, who's the host of that, he's been doing a great job just making the Game Awards better and better and better every year. So I'm pretty excited to watch it this year. It is on December 6th. And so they made some announcements for the nominees. I'm going to go through just a couple of categories here because I'm not going to go through all the categories. But I'm going to see which ones you guys would pick out of the group.
We should make some predictions. That'd be fun.
There you go. Okay, so the first one's the big one, Game of the Year. So the nominees are Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead Redemption 2. So, Lucas, who do you pick?
Well, I'm going to go based off of buzz and what I've observed because I haven't played most of those games other than like Spider-Man for 1 or 2 missions. So my guess is very limited, but I'm going to go with God of War.
Okay. Patrick,
I think God of War is going to take it.
Okay.
I think it's between Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption, and God of War is like the big AAA games. I think God of War is going to take it.
Okay. Ronnie, how about you?
I will take Red Dead Redemption since I'm currently caught up in that world.
Nice. Very nice. Honestly, with the limited amount I've played of Spider-Man and God of War, they're both great games, but honestly, I think Red Dead's going to take it.
Split decision.
Yeah. And I think that's just because of just how huge the game is and how much you can do in the game. God of War is a beautiful game, and it's got from what I've played of it so far, got a great story. But it's somewhat linear in its story, and I think with just how much more hyped Red Dead has been, I think it might take it. I could be wrong. I mean, if God of War takes it, not surprised at all because it's definitely warranted.
Yeah, I think with God of War, the for me, I lean more towards it than the others because it just seemed to reinvent itself. Like so many people were thinking, it's just another God of War. I know a lot of people were not, in the media and all that, were not excited about it, and it just blew people away. With Spider-Man
Sure.
and with Red Dead, there was hype galore, and I think for the most part, both games met the hype for people. But God of War just had that element that just came out of left field, reinvented itself, and I think that will maybe edge it out. It's my expert opinion.
There you go. I'll take it. All right, so best ongoing game, and Ronnie, I don't know if you'll be able to provide any, because I don't know if you've played any of these games or not. But Destiny 2, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Overwatch, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. So, Lucas, who do you pick?
My first gut reaction is Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think Fortnite is just too big,
Still too big
of an ongoing game
It took over
Yeah.
PUBG.
to lose that.
Yeah, it took over PUBG, and I mean, it had Thanos. What else can we say about it? I don't know.
True.
I actually haven't played it myself, so confession, I have not played it.
I've only played it like four or five times with Marc,
Yeah.
and it wasn't a game for me. But with it being free, the barrier to entry is so low because as long as you have a console or a phone or a PC, you'll be able to play this game. I mean, on pretty much anything.
Yep, absolutely.
And what they've done with it, I mean, yeah, you talked about Thanos. They've added all 32 NFL teams into the game.
Yeah, I forgot about
They've
that.
added a playground, I think a playground mode where you can just,
Yep.
you don't have to be in the Battle Royale 1 versus 100 thing. You just get in there and play around. And it's suitable for any age.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think it's gonna take it.
Ronnie, do you have any insight?
No, actually, I've heard a lot of really good things. I have a buddy that plays Destiny 2 all the time.
Okay.
And I know he's a larger part of like this community, and these guys go on these raids and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's really the only one I've heard about. I've heard a lot about Fortnite. Like, it's actually a game a lot of NFL players will be playing like in their locker rooms and stuff.
Mhm.
So, it seems to have a little more hype than everything else.
Good point. Absolutely, man. I'm a little biased towards Overwatch. I would want that to win. However, I would have to go Fortnite just because of the scope of it. It's accessible for people of basically all ages. And Patrick had a great point in the fact that it's a free-to-play game on every platform. And I mean, if you choose to, you can buy into it a little bit and get some awesome extra stuff. But basically, the game is free to play, and it's just this behemoth of a game that has taken over a lot of pop culture. So yeah, it's probably going to be Fortnite. And then one more. Let's do best art direction. So it's up between Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, here's the weird one, Octopath Traveler, Red Dead Redemption 2, or here's the even weirder one. I've never even heard of this. Return of Obra Dinn. I have never even heard of that game. So I'm gonna go with Patrick. What's your pick?
What is the definition of art direction? What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Basically, in terms of the scope of the design of the game, the landscapes, the characters, what do you think has the most beautiful or intriguing art out of those games?
Madden 19.
Aren't those basically just like reskins every year?
Oh, man, the game's
No, it's like
so
It
nice.
it seems like they really like soup it up every single year. It's like you're like, wow, this is so much better.
it's
than
like
all
Bob
this
Ross.
stuff.
Bob
You
Ross
see
came in
the
and was
sweat
like,
coming off their
"Let's
pores.
put some happy little turf here. Let's just make this happy little turf right here. Isn't that nice? That's a nice happy little turf, isn't it? I love it."
It's only happy
Cool new
mistakes in
DLC.
football, or happy accidents or whatever.
No, I don't know who's gonna win that one.
Honestly,
Battle for Oberdeen.
Yes, let's
That
go
one.
for the underdog. Battle of Oberdeen for the win.
it's Return of Oberdeen.
That's what we said. Edit it out.
Okay, of
Tomato.
course.
Patrick, you can change it. Just edit it. Edit it out. Switch it out.
Nope.
All right, thanks.
No editing
You're the
this
best.
week. Just going up like
Oh,
this.
fantastic.
I'm,
Train wreck. Flaming train wreck.
I'm gonna go. Wow, I'm gonna go Red Dead 2 with this one. Ronnie, you got one?
I remember seeing like I didn't play God of War, but I remember seeing like the clips from like the gameplay,
Mhm.
and man, that game looks incredible. Like playing Red Dead Redemption 2, like it is actually, I mean, it's ridiculous, like the views and stuff you could find. But I'd maybe go with God of War on that.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Actually,
Got it.
Oberdeen's
Well,
got the
You
majority.
will have to. Let's see if the underdog gets it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna laugh if it wins. But yeah, you'll have to find out by watching on December 6th.
How do you watch? Is that anywhere like Twitch or what is that?
You can watch it on Twitch for sure. I'd have to look. They used to stream it on like what is it, Spike TV or whatever.
Does that
Spidey?
still
What'd you
exist?
Spike.
TV?
Spike.
Oh.
Yeah. Or is it? I can't remember what it's called now. The Bro Channel, basically.
Bro channel.
Yeah, they'll probably have it on YouTube. Pretty much anywhere you can stream online, basically.
All right.
Okay.
Have you guys watched that before? Ronnie, I already know your answer, so you don't have to answer.
Yes, I have. And it's usually pretty good. It's gotten better every year.
But Patrick, how about you?
Oh yeah, I watch that every year. I make it a big thing about it. I think it was last year or 2 years ago. Chris McCracken streamed it while he was watching it. I think that's what he was doing. Yeah, and I watched it with him. He was streaming it online, and we're in the chat doing all that. So yeah, I watch it every year.
Nice.
They'll probably do it again this year.
Well, I hope so.
Very nice.
You know
That
what?
was fun.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
We should.
Ronnie, I told you we already knew the answer. You didn't have to be redundant.
I feel left out, man.
Gosh, you're killing Smalls. Patrick.
Man, that was perfect for
Make
you,
sure to
Lucas. Just to get
edit
in
that
there,
out.
like, shut up,
Oh,
Ronnie.
dang it, you're right. Here, wait, you can put this in, right? Shut up, Ronnie.
Just trying to sneak in my airtime here.
You know what? In these moments, I feel like you guys are my brothers. I feel like we're family, you know? Speaking of family, that's our topic of the show.
Soothe everybody over with that slow intro.
It's more where that's coming from, baby. So, you know what? More than our jobs, our families as adults make us who we are. I don't know about you guys, but the more I live life as a dad, as a husband, in everything I do, I see more and more of my dad in myself, sometimes in good ways, sometimes in bad ways. And it just reminds me of how much our family really shapes and connects us and makes us who we are, no matter how much we love or like or dislike or can't stand maybe some of our family members. They're like connected with us for life, for the most part. And so this show, I thought it would be really cool if we all shared a little bit more about our family, our family heritage, our origins, talk about our immediate family, all those kinds of stuff. So to start things out, I don't know, this is totally off the cuff, and I even forgot myself to research it. I know a little bit about mine, but do you guys know anything about your family origins, like the countries your family came from, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, my mom's dad came from Ireland. He came on a boat from Ireland over to Ellis Island, and he signed a manifest or whatever that is. Manifest? That doesn't sound right. Is that right?
I mean, we can go with it.
Like that.
Sure. I mean,
Okay,
I think
yeah,
manifest
so
is
he-
what's on the boat. So he
That's
was
right. That's
he
right.
was on
The register.
He was on the boat, so it could be like a manifest or the
Yeah.
register. Probably the register sounds better.
So yeah, he came over from Ireland, and his last name is Loughnane. So huge, like Irish name,
Loughnane,
and
like the Loch Ness monster.
right, like the Loughnane monster.
No,
Yes.
Loch Ness monster.
Wow, the Loch
Listen
Ness.
to the words coming out of my mouth. Loch Ness monster.
I can't hear you when my eyes are shut.
Nobody
so
knows
sorry.
nothing about a Loch Ness monster.
We do now.
Yeah, so I didn't know my grandfather. He passed before I was even born, so I really didn't know him. But I think that is the only one that is outside of the United States. Was my grandfather on my mom's side, so that's pretty cool. I think the others, My dad's side, they hailed from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and my dad moved here to Cincinnati. So, yeah, I'm a lot Irish.
A lot
Nice.
Irish.
A lot Irish.
A lot Irish and a lot Pittsburghian.
I don't know the percentage.
You're like,
I'm like 72% Irish,
Nice.
42% American.
is that math right? That does not sound right whatsoever.
Nope. Apparently, Pat can't math.
So is it the Irish side of you that can't do math, or the Pittsburgh side of you that can't do math?
All of the above.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Mark, how about you, buddy?
Okay, well, with a last name like Boucher, I'm of course Spanish.
Oh,
Definitely.
I was going to go Chinese.
No,
Boucher?
my heritage,
Marc a bourgeois.
Bourgeois.
bourgeois. No, my heritage is very French Canadian.
Yes.
I'm originally from New Hampshire, which is like 4 hours to the border of Canada. My great grandparents, I'm pretty sure, came from Canada to the United States. And I'm pretty sure, like, I have some Irish on my mom's side, but a lot of my heritage is French, especially with the region I'm from.
So last week I should have let you have done the beginning intro and the outro, huh? Instead of me hacking.
Yeah,
it up.
that's why I laughed as hard as I did, and I wanted to know what it was you actually said.
Good to know for the future.
Which you never did. You never said that to me, by the way.
I'm sorry. I will.
Okay.
Will someday.
But yeah, I'm super duper French, and I have lots and lots of hair to prove it. But
Thank you for showing.
Is that a
Thank
thing?
you for showing us.
yes,
The hairiest people on Earth are French.
yes,
Got it.
that is a thing.
Okay. Fair enough.
The more you know. But yeah,
I'm gonna look that
that's
up. That
pretty
sounds
much-
like fake news.
Yeah, I think it's fake news too.
I'm looking it up right now. Keep going.
Okay, so just gonna throw this out there. This is a quote from one of your favorite movies, Pat. It just popped into my head. Buzz is talking to his friend in the movie Home Alone. He says, "Is it true that French girls don't shave their pits?"
That doesn't mean they're the hairiest. That just means what hair they have. They leave it alone. So
They're pretty hairy.
all right.
Took an odd turn.
Ronnie, tell us about your hairiness.
Dig us out, please.
All right. Well, I'm 30 years old. I still can't grow a mustache, so it's not going
So you're
really
not
well.
French, is
to be
what
honest.
you're saying.
Nope, I believe I'm not French. So my last name, Johannes, is a German last name. My dad's side of the family came over from Germany. I actually don't know my grandma's side. I don't know the heritage on her side. And then on my mother's side, my grandpa he was like 50%, or what, 50% like Cherokee.
Oh, okay.
So he had like a lot of that. So that I have that, which could explain like my skin is naturally, I feel like, glows red all the time. I was like, well, maybe that's
There
it.
you
But mostly German. Like I kind of pick up most of my traits from my dad's side of the family, and my mom's father was actually adopted, so they had limited information as far as that goes. But that's as far as like I've ever tracked it back. I know my dad, like 2 years ago, he did one of those, whatever it is, where they send you in the mail and you spit in the jar and send it back for that. They
Yes.
tell you like the percentages and stuff of what you are.
Yeah.
I can't remember the results of that, but he sent it over and it was pretty neat, like to look at.
Yeah, my cousin's done that, but I've never done that. Growing up, my grandma told me, well, a mixture of my grandma and I think my dad, what I could gather from talking with them. I don't really know when or who or what or how my family got to the United States. All I know is that I'm one part English, one part Welsh, one part German, and one part Irish. And so I've got those 4 parts going for me. Most of it's covered in, obviously, in Great Britain. 3 of the 4 are covered there, and then I've got the Germans swinging in from the south. And then that's my heritage. Other than that, I don't know who came when or how. I imagine there were boats involved in water and swimming and all that jazz. So that's with my family. But with our immediate family, I don't know about you guys, but I have a really kind of, I don't know, I have a very mixed up immediate family. It doesn't help that my dad's been married 3 times, and so I have step family, half family, blood family. I got multiple grandparents, some alive, some dead, passed away, but I've got so many cousins. Like when my dad remarried a 3rd time, my stepmom has, I think, 8 brothers and sisters, and then
Whoosh.
2 of those brothers and sisters have 8 or 9 sons and daughters. I think in 1996, 97, when I was in high school, most of them live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and we went and had Thanksgiving there, and we had to rent out a gymnasium to have Thanksgiving. Like, we could not have it in a house. And there were just so many people, and I did not. It's the only time I've met most of them. Like, that was the only time we had Thanksgiving together. But pretty much how the story goes right now, I have a dad who's good old blood related, my original father, as it were. And then I have a stepmom, and then I have, so my dad's name's Chuck. And to give names, I think it's good to, give a little personal information. Just in case one of us, 2 of us have a mother with the name Martha, then there's a guarantee that we will be friends forever. So
why you gotta bring that up?
Might as well share names.
Why?
Bring what up? What are you talking about? Some people have mother's name's
nothing.
Martha, and they love each other for it.
Mm-hmm.
Instant friends, regardless of what kind of conflict they had before. But anyways, my dad's name is Chuck Charles. And
excuse me while I clean the salt out of my wound. Okay, continue, Lucas.
Continuing. So then my stepmom's name is Wilda, and I have a half sister that's older from my dad's first marriage. Her name's Carly, and then my younger sister is my stepsister. Her name's Ashley, and that's like my immediate family. And most of them live in West Virginia. My half sister Carly lives in Maryland also. But most of my family is represented in the West Virginia, Maryland, Ohio areas. And also, as I've shared in the past, my mother, Carolyn, passed away when I was 11 years old. And she lived in Ohio before moving to West Virginia to live with my dad after they got married. And so that's like my immediate family, very quickly, just to share. How about you guys? Tell us about your immediate family, parents, siblings.
I have a similar situation to you, Ronnie, sort of. I actually have, my biological dad, his name is Steve. And my biological mom's name is Lois. My mom lives up in New Hampshire still, but my dad and my stepmother, I have a stepmother. Her name is Terry. They live near me, not too far from me. I had 2 half brothers. One's name is Bruce. That's my dad's son.
Hello.
He lives.
I'm Bruce.
Yeah.
It's
Bruce.
That name always makes me think of
I
Finding
never
Nemo.
knew my father. But yeah, he lives in Florida. And then I had a half brother, my mom's son, Matthew. He unfortunately passed away. I believe he was about 44, something like that. Unfortunately, he had a drug issue, so he passed away from that. And then I've got 3 stepsisters from my stepmom, Crystal, Jackie, and Michelle. and 2 of them are married with children.
Love and
marriage.
marriage. Love and marriage.
Nice. But yeah, so that's pretty much my extent. I am the only child of my mom and my dad.
I feel you, man.
But yeah.
How about you,
Patrick?
Yes, I was just gonna say, Patrick. How about you, buddy?
Well, yeah, I'm similar situation with you guys. So, my parents, I have 3 kids. I have 2 older brothers. Well, sorry, let's go back. I have 2 older brothers. One is from my mom's previous marriage. The other one's from my actual dad. And then I have a younger sister. My oldest brother, he lives out in Denver. And then both of my other siblings live here in Cincinnati. That's it. What else do you know?
This is the end.
Do they have names?
Yeah. Oh, you want to know their names? Yeah.
Yeah, why
So my
not?
oldest brother,
It would be nice,
oldest brother Scott. He lives out in Denver, Colorado. He's one of those guys that actually like thrives on outdoors kind of thing. So he's lived in Montana, he's lived in California and Colorado. Anything that has to do with outside, he's gonna do. Like he trims trees. He's lived in a tent for weeks in the wilderness because he just wanted to do that. He
That's hardcore.
was just doing a whole bunch of things outside. So he's more of an outdoors kind of guy. And then my other older brother, Dave, he lives here in Cincinnati, and he is a professional poker player. So he goes all around the United States and outside the U.S. to go into tournaments, whether that be the World Series of Poker in Vegas. He's gone to Europe. He's gone to Australia. He goes to all different places to play poker. I don't know how he does it. I don't know if you guys have ever played poker, but sometimes you're playing for like an hour. And you're like, oh my gosh, playing poker for an hour. This feels like it's been 3 days. So, but he does it. He does it for a living, and he's able to support his family. And then my younger sister, she is currently in between jobs right now. She was one of the individuals that had got let go from our company during the layoff. So yeah, her name's Abby. So yeah, that's my fam.
Nice.
Bam, cool.
I guess I'm up.
Yeah, you are.
So I have a stepdad and a stepmom. So my mom's name is Rhonda. My stepdad's name is Scott. They live here close to me, so I see them usually a couple times a week. It's kind of funny. Me and my friends actually we'll go hang out with them because they're fun to hang around. My stepdad Scott has 3 sons, 2 of which live in the Cincinnati area. One, Justin, he lives in St. Louis. He's a diehard St. Louis Cardinals fan, which as a Cincinnati Reds fan is just terrible. I mean, their dominance over us has been, it's been bad. And then his 2 sons that live in Cincinnati, one's name is Eric and the other's name is Taylor. They live here. Some of you may know Eric as Bangle Man from online.
Yeah.
Streaming with Pat and those guys.
I've seen his name.
And recently joined the Discord channel, so
Nice.
he's on there. And then, so my dad got remarried. My dad's name is Gary. He married my stepmom, her name is Lynn, and she has 1 son who lives in the Cincinnati area. His name is Chris. My dad and Gary and Lynn, my dad and stepmom.
Ronnie, sorry to interrupt you. Real quick, can you tell that train behind you to shut up? I mean, he's louder. He's louder than Cisco. I just hear that train going choo choo.
Marc lives in a metropolis here.
Oh wait, Mark, is that your train?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was Ronnie. I thought because he was talking. Sorry, Ronnie. You don't have to tell anyone.
You live
Totally
right next
not
to
mine.
train tracks and fire station, police
Dog
station,
house.
hospital.
I love the fact that we cannot avoid having a train in the background. It's like clockwork. I don't understand that.
It is. It's nice.
How often does that train come by?
I have no idea.
Once a
I
week
don't even
when
pay
we're doing our
attention to it.
podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna start planning our podcast around it. Okay,
I'm gonna
continue,
get a
Ronnie. Sorry.
copy of their schedule. So my dad and stepmom live down in they live 40 minutes outside of New Orleans. It's called Covington. So they're like diehard Saints fans now, which it's a pretty good time to be a Saints fan.
Yeah, it is.
They abandoned our Bengals altogether, pretty much.
Well,
And then they have the one son that lives in here in Cincinnati. His name is Chris. I also have one sister. Her name is Mandy. She lives in the Cincinnati area. So yeah, I have 4 stepbrothers and a sister. But that's pretty much it as far as like immediate family for me.
cool. Well, you know, I didn't. Patrick and Ronnie, you both made me think about. I didn't share. Real quick, my dad is a pharmacist. My mom is a kind of a freelance financial person. She helps churches, and she actually works for the health department in Grafton, and helps with the books, the financial things of that end. My older sister Carly she contracts with the Air Force, and she helps kind of do quotes for future research projects. And so, like, whatever she researches, she's not actually allowed to talk about until after the fact, like years after the fact. And so she's kind of shared years later how she's, like, helped plan budgets and stuff for really cool, like, high-tech technological stuff. And then my sister works for kind of like an elderly care company while also doing, like, weddings and makeup and stuff on the weekends. So, yeah. Just thought I'd add that in, just for kicks and giggles.
Very cool.
Nice.
Mark, what do your parents do? We didn't. Did you tell us what they do for a living?
So it's kind of complicated. So my dad, that was not me. That was not me.
That was me. Motorcycle.
That motorcycle just came through your living room.
Shut up,
It's
motorcycle.
like we're doing this.
Freaking idiot. Gosh.
It's like we're doing this out in the street or something.
Yeah. Yep, we are.
So my dad actually, for a living, what he does is it's what's called a DX driver. DX standing for dealer exchange. So he basically
Sounds illegal.
brings not that kind of dealer exchange.
D-Generation
car-
X.
Yes.
D-Generation X.
My dad's name is X-Pac.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Really? X-Pac.
So my dad is a DX driver, meaning he takes vehicles and brings them to different dealerships and exchanges them, brings them, like if a certain dealer is looking for a vehicle for their lot or whatever, he will bring a vehicle
Okay.
to them.
I remember doing those missions in Grand Theft Auto 4, so I completely understand where you have to
Yeah,
take
except
the-
he doesn't steal them.
Oh, right, the stealing part. I forgot about that. Sorry.
Yeah, he kind of gets paid to do this and does it legally.
Oh, I bet you that's fun.
It is. It's quite fun. Well, actually, I don't know because that's not my job. But my stepmom actually is a secretary for one of the.
There it is.
Yes.
All right.
Oh,
if you guys are playing GMG Bingo out there, make sure to mark your cards. Write us in. Bingo.
Okay, we've had the hat trick tonight. We've had Cisco barking. We've had
The
can't believe that
train.
Now we just need the
I can't
ambulance.
believe that didn't happen while I was actually talking this time.
Is that when it's usually happened in the past, Ronnie, is when you're talking?
I think the earlier 2 times in this podcast with the dog and then the train in the background, those were both me.
Nice. So anyway,
why is it always me?
your mom,
Okay.
your mom's a secretary.
So, my stepmom is a secretary for one of the departments. It's the engineering department at the school the university in our town. Which you know what university that is if you've listened to the previous podcast. But my mom is actually permanently disabled. She was in a car accident a long time ago, and so unfortunately she doesn't work anymore, because that led to extensive amounts of surgeries and all that kind of stuff. So she's just unable to work. But yeah, so that's basically what my family does.
Gotcha. Well, Gabriel Pavao at I think Gabe Pavao on Twitter, he wanted to know, in regards to our families, which fictional family from movies, TV shows, cartoons, or whatever, do you think your family is alike, and why?
Oh gosh.
So to give you guys a moment to think, I'll go ahead and I saw this question ahead of time, and the first show that popped into my head was the Brady Bunch. Now,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's in part because of the size of the family that kind of merged into my family. Immediately, it wasn't that huge of a bump, I guess, as it were, where it was 3 siblings on one side, meaning 3 siblings on the other. But my family grew exponentially when my dad got married a 3rd time. But I just thought about how, it was my stepmom and my stepsister, and then my dad and I, and just kind of us meeting together. And, really the whole story of my dad, and I'm not going to give the whole story tonight, but the whole story of my dad meeting my stepmom and everything that transitioned there with that was actually very much a God thing. When my mom passed away, that year afterwards was some of the toughest times for both my dad and I. And when he met Wilda, it was definitely a God thing. Like, God brought my stepsister, brought them into our lives. My stepmom tells a story about, something that I will say from that whole thing is that my mom and my stepsister's dad, they both passed away within 4 hours of each other. In 1993, I think it was. And they were in the same the same funeral home together during the same time periods. And so, like, when we were, having our visitations and doing the funeral on one side of the funeral home, they were on the other side. And at that time, my stepmom and my dad didn't know each other. And it was later that next year, they were at a mutual friend's house. And my stepmom said that after she divorced my stepsister's dad, she had visions of who God was going to bring into her life. And she could never see a face. She never got a name. She only ever got a silhouette. And she said that in this meeting, when she first met my dad, when he stepped up to say hello, to shake her hand or whatever, he stepped into the silhouette in her mind that she had always seen. And she knew immediately from that moment that God had brought my dad into her life. And, I can testify to that as well, that their meeting actually is really had a direct relationship to me beginning to believe in God as my Lord and Savior, but, believing in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and taking church and the Bible and God's more seriously in my life was very much in part due to Wilda and that side of my family kind of coming to my life. So I say all that to say the Brady Bunch, even though the Brady Bunch never really got that serious in its episodes, but it was very impactful. Definitely them getting together. Ready to go. Who's next? I gave you lots of time to think, so.
And it still wasn't enough. Gosh, I don't know. I don't know who to pick, just because, like, a lot of TV families and stuff like that, like, the dad is always portrayed as, like, the idiot, like the bumbling idiot, and my dad is not a bumbling idiot. Gosh.
So I have a little bit of an obscure one. It's not necessarily. I have a couple of really close friends that I would consider family, and the group we've been running around with here lately. It's me and my 2 buddies, and my newer friend, who's a woman. And my buddy actually had said in a text message, just kind of randomly, like, "Yeah, we're like the cast of Seinfeld."
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Like the three of us walking around with her, and it's like then we started naming. It's like, yeah, that is true. We kind of are like that.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, it was just kind of a funny little thing, but not necessarily family. But for most people, their family and their close friends are, that train, man. Every time I start talking, is this a prank?
I was gonna go with it. I wasn't gonna say anything, but thanks, Ronnie, for bringing it up.
I feel like Ashton Kutcher's gonna come out of here. Been punked.
I don't think that's that.
But no, it was
obscure of an answer. That's a good answer, Ronnie. I mean, Seinfeld has parents in there, so maybe there's a relationship.
Yeah,
Do they live in Florida
That's true.
most of the time or half the year?
No, they definitely don't.
Oh.
I will say that I grew up like watching Seinfeld with my mom and my stepdad, and they both love the show too. And like they'll yell back and forth between each other, and like I'll call them the Costanzas like all the time.
I was gonna say you're
It's
George
like,
then, right?
And yeah, pretty much in the show they're always yelling at each other, and that's like what's going on. They're just yelling back and forth,
her
room
voice,
to room about nothing.
Mrs. Costanza's voice, I can't remember.
George, what are you doing?
Like her voice is
good
so funny. I love her voice, even though I would want to shoot myself if she was my mom, but she's not, so no worries.
Anybody else got one?
Well, yeah, I have one, but it's not necessarily my family, but more of my wife and I. There was this show called Whitney with Whitney Cummings and that comedian Chris, I don't know his last name, Delia or something like that. They're both comedians, but if you've ever watched the show, it got canceled after I think 2 seasons. But the dynamic between them two and the way they talk to each other and play jokes on each other and laugh with each other reminded me and my wife about like the way we act. There was this one scene where Whitney had washed his jeans, and whenever you wash your jeans, it kind of like shrinks it a little bit, and he comes out and he's wearing his jeans. He's like, "Did you wash my jeans?" She's like, "Did you wash my jeans? I can't do my stuff." And he just starts like leaning into the jeans, leaning up against the wall. I don't know. It is absolutely hilarious. He just like, he tries to put his leg up. He's like, "I can't do my stuff." So I'll have to send you that video. But
so Patrick, are you Whitney?
No, my wife is Whitney.
Wait, didn't you say Whitney is the guy, or is Whitney the girl?
No, Whitney's the girl. Chris is the guy.
I totally got mixed up. I'm sorry. You're Chris.
That's all right.
It's got to be your bull. I'm sorry, I got it all mixed up.
Mark.
Okay.
You got it, Mark.
I think I've got one. I think I've nailed
Hurry
it
before
down
the train.
as much
the
as
train's
I
gonna come
can.
back. Cisco's gonna.
I'm not talking right now, so
Okay, so because each and every one of them has their ridiculous quirks, and they're all just wacky as crap together, I'm gonna say the Bluths from Arrested Development,
yeah, that's a solid one.
and that's the best I can do. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I have a confession. I've never watched Arrested Development, so
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the only thing I do know. I've
slapstick
seen
humor, but-
pictures and like previews of it. Like I've seen the guy who has blue skin. I don't know if he has blue skin, but there's an episode where he colors himself blue.
Yeah, for the blue, he's trying out for the Blue Man
Yeah,
Group in that
that
episode.
seemed like a very strange television show.
I will tell you, it is a really funny show. I just started watching it earlier this year, and I watched like a few seasons, and it is it's hilarious. I laughed the whole time. It's kind of like an off the wall comedy that like most shows I feel like aren't exactly like that. I've heard like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is kind of like a similar.
Yeah, I've
thing.
heard that too.
Mhm.
Heard the same thing. So I think with all of our families, there are times when maybe they're normal people, like in Growing Pains. I don't know if you guys watched Growing Pains growing up, or
I did.
Brady Bunch, like where everybody's nice and ha 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 and being nice to each other. And then sometimes your family is like Married with Children, where people are just yelling at each other and crazy. But you know what? I feel like in most circumstances, that those things happen during the holidays. Like when things got crazy, it was during the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So CJ Pennington, our old buddy from Facebook, he wanted to know, what's your family best and worst traditions during the holidays? So, Patrick, why don't you start us out, buddy? Tell us about your family traditions. It can be, it can be your immediate family. It can be with your wife and kids now. But what are some of the best and worst holiday traditions you've had to partake in?
One of the best traditions that we've started as a family, that we've started as with my wife and my kids, is we wrap like 24 books, and every day in the month of December we'll unwrap one and we'll read that one.
Oh, that's
They
cool.
may be new books, and they may be old books that we've had, we just haven't read in quite a while.
Nice.
But it's something new.
Your kids think they're new, and you're like, yeah, I got this book for you.
Yeah, and what we'll do is we'll go to like a half price books place, and we'll get stuff that's cheap. We'll get stuff that's like new to them, but maybe like very like nostalgic for us. So we'll wrap those, and we'll unwrap them each day in December, and it's kind of a thing that we do every single night in December. Is one day my daughter will unwrap one, and one day my son will wrap one, and they'll alternate throughout the month of December. So that's a pretty cool tradition that we've started that I really like and enjoy, and our kids like to enjoy as well. So that's one of the best traditions that I think that we're doing right now.
Cool. How about you, Mark?
I would
Ronnie?
say-
Just kidding.
Hurry
Before the train comes. Go.
I know. I would say some of my favorite family traditions actually. I know it is like Thanksgiving season coming up here, Christmas soon, but it's more of the holidays in the summer, like the July 4th and stuff like that, when people are able to get together. Some of the best times are us, getting like a little campfire going and everybody sitting around and laughing and like telling stories and stuff. And some of the best and the worst are one of the things I always do is get like a wiffle ball or kickball game going on, and it gets really intense. It always ends in an argument, like over a call where the ball's over the fence or something. Like everybody gets really into it. So it's
Nice.
It's sometimes the best and it's sometimes the worst,
Yeah,
but it's always entertaining. So
I bet it is. Mark, how about you, buddy?
Okay, so
exploding kittens.
Yeah.
that's not really
The
a holiday
tradition of
tradition.
vomiting
That's like an
cats.
every.
Love it.
That's not a holiday tradition though.
It's an
for us.
everyday tradition.
Like honestly, yes, anytime. But yeah, probably the best tradition I think actually comes from my in-laws, from my in-laws side of the family, which we didn't really talk about. But my wife's side of the family, they do what's called Trim-a-Tree every year, which by all accounts, if you really think about it, is an excuse for her grandparents to have all their family come down and basically put up their decorations for them. So we
All right.
basically, yeah, but they make it fun though, because like they have all sorts of goodies that they make and stuff, and it's always fun to be together and stuff. But basically we help put up all of her grandma and grandpa's Christmas ornament or Christmas decorations in their house. And basically make it a fun time. So that's something I've been able to be a part of the past few years. It's always a good time, and there's always awesome, yummy foods to partake in. Worst tradition. We really didn't have that many traditions growing up. Basically, it was just a matter of, okay, we're gonna put our decorations up. Okay, it's Christmas Day. Let's have the family over, which is always an interesting experience when I was a kid, because my mom's family and my dad's family didn't necessarily always get along, and so sometimes it felt like we got to do this again kind of thing. But I mean, everybody for the most part was civil to each other. But yeah, I would say that's the one. If I had to call it worst, is just the fact that like oh, we got to do this again. Let's come over to each other's houses and that kind of stuff. But I enjoyed that time being with my family.
Yeah, I would say for me too, I think some of my favorite traditions was just how we would split up the holidays every year. You know, before I got married, even before my dad remarried the third time, you know, and I had a step family that we had to balance with all the holidays, you know, especially between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
Man, it gets so complicated once you get married and you add even more families to the mix. But back in the day, I really enjoyed, I just had two sides of the family to worry about. And we would always spend Thanksgiving with my mom's side of the family, and we would always spend Christmas with my dad's side of the family. And it just worked perfectly. Like our family up in Ohio, in Perrysburg, Toledo area in Ohio, my uncles are like diehard Detroit Lions fans. They love football, they love sports. And so Thanksgiving, like Thanksgiving week and Thanksgiving Day it's all about sports. You know, I know that Christmas Day nowadays has, you know, NBA and they try to hit a little more sports, but of the holidays, the sport holiday really is Thanksgiving because you always have the Detroit Lion game, you always have the Dallas Cowboy game. And so watching those games with my uncles was always a blast, even if the Detroit Lions got destroyed like pretty much every year. I think for most of that time, my uncles, you know, they drank enough to be fun. And of course, then as the night went on, they drank a little too much and it became not as fun. But we don't need to name names or talk about, you know.
A fine line.
Yeah, there's a fine line. And maybe that was probably part of the worst tradition was just when they went too far with how much they drank. But I would just say, yeah, just that Thanksgiving and Christmas time kind of just, you know, every year we did it the same for so many years, and I really enjoyed it. And in terms of worst traditions, I think the worst tradition was that pretty much every July my dad took down the Christmas lights. That's the only tradition I could think of.
Yeah, that was always the worst.
It's like, seriously, Dad, it's like 90 degrees outside and you're making me help you take down these stupid lights. Why don't we just leave them on until Christmas? Because Christmas isn't like, it's like 6 months away, 4 months, 5 months away. We might as well just leave the lights up and then take them down next year. So.
Yeah, we're going to be right back out here.
We're just going to be out here again in a few months putting them up. So that's probably that's the only tradition I could think of that I really didn't like. So. In terms of our current families that we kind of talked about already, as Patrick alluded to, I think 3 of us are married, 2 of us have kids, so we have a little bit of mix of families here. But what are your current and future family plans going on from here forward? Interested to know.
I think I'll start this
Do
one.
it.
Mine are completely up in the air. Obviously, so now that I'm single out there, and I think it really, like, the future plans depend on the person that I meet. You know, you think about kids and stuff like that. You know, I think I would like to have kids, but I think I would only like to have kids, you know, under like the right set of circumstances. You know, in a good scenario where I'm really happy, and I know they will be. So my future plans, you know, being a single guy now, yeah, I mean, they're completely up in the air. And I think it really all depends on, you know, the person that I end up meeting and, you know, being with and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah, I think for me, obviously I'm married. Been married for a year and a half now, basically. You know, we're trying to enjoy just being married right now. Eventually we do want to have, you know, at least 2 kids. Or at most, I should say, not at least. The most would probably be 2 kids. That's ideally where we'd want to stop. And apparently, that may happen, you know, the 2 kids may happen sooner than later because apparently it runs in my family.
Oh,
no,
gosh,
we're
you
not
tried to
pregnant.
come on,
I
man.
thought you were going to say
I thought you were going to announce something on the podcast. I was like, what?
Surprise!
Oh, that would have been so awesome.
No, we're not pregnant. But
Okay.
no, apparently, like, every other generation in my family has twins.
Mm.
So, like, Yeah, so my grandparents, I think my grandmother was pregnant with twins, but unfortunately they died. They passed away. And then, of course, my dad didn't have twins. So apparently it's my turn.
Yeah, it is.
So we may knock out those two kids in one shot.
Wow.
I don't know.
That's some good plans right there.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, that's pretty much where we see things going is stopping at 2.
Two's a good number.
And 2's a good number.
Yeah.
Are you guys looking for like a?
Yes.
Are you guys looking for like a boy girl, or you guys have a preference?
I don't think we really have a preference at the moment. If I had to pick, probably either 2 boys or boy girl.
Ooh, yeah. You're afraid of the too much estrogen in the
That's
family.
coming from the classic dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you have 2 girls and you want to have 3 kids, you're running the risk of having 3 girls.
Have I told you guys about my friend Tom in West Virginia? Yeah.
No.
I think so.
Yeah, you were there when they were born. or something,
Yeah,
right?
so...
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I did mention
I
that when I
guess I
got back from
forgot
the
about
U.S. Yeah, he definitely has 4 girls after having triplets a month ago. So,
Whoosh.
yeah.
Oh,
I've
my
been
gosh.
praying for him every day. Please, everyone. Thoughts and prayers for my brother in Christ, Tom Snyder in West Virginia. He's living it up, though. He actually said he preferred having all girls than to adding boys to the mix. So, to each their own. I've got one of each, just like Patrick. I got an older girl and a younger boy, and I am completely happy. The factory is closed. I have no desire to add a third to the mix. If a third is added to the mix, that would be only an act of God. No, that would be it. There would be no other options. There's no accidentally adopting a child or anything like that. So we are good with the 2. So in terms of family, my next plans is to be a grandpa someday. And so my daughter's already said she's not having kids, and my son said he's having a dozen kids. So let's
continue my lineage.
Let's see what happens. Keep that Swisher name. How about you, Patrick?
Yeah, just like you, I have an older daughter and a younger son, and then 2. That's all we wanted. I think my wife at one point said she wanted 3, but after we had 2, she's like, "Ooh, no more. We don't want to be outnumbered.
I did the same
we don't want to have another."
As your wife. I said I want 3, and then we had the second one. I'm like, I'm good. I'm done. No more.
And we both wanted to experience, raising a girl and raising a boy. So we'll be able to experience both of those things. So we're not looking to have any more. Not saying that's out of the cards, but I'm saying it's out of the cards.
I'm with you, man.
No more kids.
This is my thing with my 2 kids. Like, my daughter looks just like her mom. She's dark complected. Like, my wife looks Hispanic. She's got dark hair, beautiful brown eyes. Like, she's beautiful. And she has a little bit of my height in me, so she's a little bit taller. My son is white like me. He has red hair like my grandmother, but he is as cute and is just a little ball of fiery energy as can be. So my thought is, if I had a 3rd kid, how ugly would this baby be? And there's nothing left to give. Like I don't want to do that to the poor 3rd child. So the factory's closed. It's not happening.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild actually looking at the pictures of your kids with you and your wife, and how much your daughter looks like your wife, and how much your son looks like you. It's crazy.
When he came out with that red hair, my eyes got so wide, and my first question was, "Whose son is that?" I didn't say it out loud, obviously, but it crossed my mind. Let me tell you, because I just did not see red hair coming. Like that was totally crazy. So, keeping up with the future talk, Melanie Novosel wanted to know, and keeping up with the tradition talk, is there a tradition that you wish your family would start doing at the holidays? Is there something that you always have good intentions of doing, but then never get around to doing? Like I always pile all these board games in a giant bag for family gatherings to play, and they end up sitting because all we do is just enjoy each other's company and talking and laughing, that we don't ever get around to doing it. It doesn't help that the kids are running around being crazy, preventing us from playing. Laugh out loud. Haha. So, let's
For
let's
me,
hear it.
yeah, since my brother, he lives in Colorado, and I would love to, well, once a year or every couple of years or whatever, just to go out and visit him. I've only visited him out there once, and I feel like I should do that more, but it's just with the family and prices of airline tickets and all that. It just gets kind of expensive to do that. But if money was not an object, I would love just to go out there at least once a year to visit him, because he's coming here in December, early mid December, which he does on occasion. Sometimes he comes in for Thanksgiving, sometimes he comes in for Christmas, but he does that, But I would like to do the same thing and go out there and see him.
Cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I think the same thing, like with my dad and stepmom that live down in the New Orleans area. I've only been to their new house one time, so it would be cool to go down there every couple of years and celebrate Christmas with them. Sometimes they do come in here, or sometimes they'll have it, to themselves or whatever. But it would be pretty neat to go down there and do that.
Nice. Mark, how about you? Any traditions you wanna do or have intentions of doing someday?
I would really like to just get out and see more Christmas light displays. I just think it's so fun to see those, like the houses with the huge displays where they have it synchronized to music and all that kind of stuff.
That is sweet. The ones that go to music. Those are
man,
awesome.
No doubt.
Yep.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra. That's a great.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what?
Sweet.
Speaking of traditions, I don't know. Real quick, you mentioned the lights, Mark, and I can't help but think about. When do you guys start listening to Christmas music?
The day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Typically for me, I would want to shoot for the day after Thanksgiving. However, the plight of being a worship leader, I have kind of had to think about it ahead of time.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, we started listening to Christmas music, I think 2 weeks ago. It's the earliest we've ever started, but I was like, I need Christmas music. It's just
No, my wife's November 1st. There's a local radio station that just starts playing that Christmas music, and my wife just loves it. She can eat it up.
Yeah.
It's her favorite time of the year, so she listens to it. But if I have any say, I would not want to listen to it until after Thanksgiving, because they play the same songs over and over again. There's different artists that sing it, but one of the cool things, like you said, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Man.
It's cool to hear that.
Them.
That's one of the newer renditions that I enjoy.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, Mark, for that tangent. Did you have any other traditions you wanted to share that maybe you would want to do with your twin girls someday?
Taking them to Disney for Christmas. No.
There you go. That's a tradition right there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's an expensive tradition is what that is.
Yes, that would be.
No,
you have to say, dear, you're not getting that pony this year. We're going to Disney World.
You get to go see Mickey. Forget the pony.
Yeah, that's right. I thought of two traditions. One of them was just like you guys, that I kind of wish that I had a better tradition. I wish all of my family that we had better traditions of travel for during the holidays. Like I kind of wish some family would come visit us in Brazil. I understand completely that it's so expensive and it is not easy to plan with passports and visas and all that jazz. But
Yeah.
I do really wish that we could get like a cycle to where there would be a more consistent visits between us. I do know that in the coming years, my hope and plan is to visit the U.S. every 2 years, and that would be with the greatest frequency we've ever had. I think we've been here 6.5 years, and we've visited the U.S. as a family 2 times, so that's like every 3 years. I'd like to cut it down to 2 years. The other tradition that I thought of was more for my immediate family with my kids. We really love just all the major holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4th of July even. We try to celebrate it in some way, even in Brazil. But one thing that I've thought about, especially in recent years as my kids have gotten older, they have become so gift hungry. I don't know about you, Pat, but my kids, they are just like, presents, presents, presents. What are we getting for Christmas? And what? It's like they are so infatuated, and I kind of feel like I'm gonna have to start a tradition of like at least during Christmas week or around the holidays, like taking one day and just going and giving to others, like whether it's them taking presents to kids, going to a soup kitchen, doing something where the whole day is all about them giving to other people. I feel like I'm gonna have to do that for them to get it in their heads that Christmas is not about presents. It's about Christ. It's about giving to others. Of course, it's about receiving because others give to us. But I kind of feel like that in the coming years, I'm going to have to start that tradition with my family for sure to kind of get their perspective going in the right direction, you know.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good tradition.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that that leads us to the end of our time together talking about family. Of course, we have lots of other rellies and rellos, aka family members. That's Australian for you, to teach you another Australian phrase, word. We have others that we would like to talk about, share about, but we'll save that for part 2 of family. And as we close things out, what kind of good morning inspirational thoughts, music, dad jokes, anything do you have to share with us today, guys?
As usual, I have some additions to make to the Good Morning Guys morning playlist. So I tried to at least grab a couple of songs that were based around some sort of family. And I have to tell you, a lot of them suck. Just saying.
Jeez. All right. Fair enough.
But
what about We Are Family?
That's actually one of them. That is one of the songs that is going to be going on the list. So, yep, Sister Sledge's We Are Family is going on there.
Nice. That's a good one.
A song from one of my favorite artists, Mr. John Mayer. It's a song called Daughters.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's going on there.
I like that one.
So those were the two, but in addition, I'm also going to add, so y'all have heard of Mumford & Sons, right?
Yeah, that's a family.
Yes.
That's a family, so that counts.
That's true. So they actually just came out with a new album, and one of the new songs off that album is called Guiding Light, and I will be adding that to the playlist.
Nice.
So
Cool.
There you go.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
Check.
Baby, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you guys have any? Just as this will lead into a quick inspirational thought from you guys. But you guys, if you could pick one thing to be a secret to a healthy family, what do you think it is? What's the secret to a healthy family?
There's two things about that.
2 secrets.
Yes. One is say I love you to each of your family members every single day. And it doesn't have to be provoked, doesn't have to be for any reason. Just saying I love you goes a long way. And 2 is eat with your family. Eat with your wife, eat with your kids. Have a sit down, eating at the table where you put away all of your electronic devices and just talk to one another.
Yeah, that's a good one. My family, my wife and kids, we do breakfast and dinner together every day. And we always circulate around who gets to pray. And usually it ends up my son saying it's his turn all the time. And he gets mad when it's not his turn. But yeah, having dinner together, having meals together is super important.
Yes.
For sure. It's a good one.
Nice.
And to jump off of yours, Patrick, I would say don't just say it, but show it. Show love to each other. Hug your family. And don't just, do like the pat thing, like patting them on the back or a side hug. Like you need to do a good 10 to 20 second hug with your
10 to 20 seconds. Oof.
10 to 20 seconds. Just hold them. Hold them like the River Jordan. Just hold them close. Your wife, your kids, your neighbor. No, just kidding. Don't do your neighbor like
neighbor.
That. But no, but seriously, with your family, I've kind of, when I go now, sometimes 2-3 years between seeing some of my family members, I see them, I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to get to hug them again. I don't know if I'm going to get to hug them again. So, I think that also goes into a secret, like be present with your family. I can't tell you how many times, especially in this day and age, where I've seen families, my family, I've been a part of these moments where most of the family's looking at their phones, just typing away, doing their social media thing. Be present with your family. Look them in the eye. And I think that's a way of showing them love. There's people that you're around with every day, and it gets kind of like, that's my dad, that's my mom, that's my wife, they love me, I love them, blah, blah, blah. And we just kind of get comfortable, and we just use, our phones, and we don't really ask each other questions like, how are you doing? What's going on in life? Especially with these holiday functions coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas, like, pretend like you just don't know your family and talk to them, ask them questions, show interest in them, and they'll show interest in you. And communication is definitely another, a key to a healthy family is just communicating that love that we have for each other. So,
and laugh with your family a lot.
Yes,
because I do.
Play Jackbox. Play Jackbox. Play Vomiting Kittens. Play games. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, and also not only with your family, but with your friends as well. I mean, like, you guys, I consider you more than just friends. If you want to go back to the Fast and the Furious quote where Dom says, "I don't have friends, I have family." Like the thing we do every week. All the stuff about family. I've never, I've only known bits and pieces, and we got into the nitty gritty about our families, which was really nice to get to know you guys a little bit better. So yeah, friends are like the old saying, friends are the family you choose. And I'm glad you guys are my friends.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I'm glad to be your family too. I'm glad you're my family. I love all you guys.
So the next time I see you, I better get that 20-second hug.
Oh, you'll get it. I might even go for a minute.
Oh, jeez.
Whoa.
Ronnie, you got any closing thoughts? Or are you good?
I had one closing thought, and it kind of circles back to Patrick when he said, "Tell your family like love you and stuff." So all of us right around like, Thanksgiving, Christmas time, like a lot of us have to get with our families, and we're all thinking to ourselves like, "Oh man, these people again." And like the truth is like, as crazy as all these people are in your family, like everybody has all of these characters. Like you love those characters, right? And sometimes you might dread going. You're like, oh man, this is, I gotta go see all these people. Like these people are crazy. And then you get there and you just laugh at the crazy. Because you just love these people. You love the individuals no matter how crazy they are. So I think the whole love thing is, it's funny how it works with family because you don't choose them. You're stuck with them. Yeah. That's just the way it is, as crazy as they are.
It's true.
True story,
Well,
bro.
that's great. True story. Well, that's all we got for this good morning. Remember, there are a number of ways to go beyond listening. Connect with us as a podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. The Good Morning Guys or at the GMG Podcast. Beyond that, we look forward to talking to you again next Thursday morning or afternoon on podcast services around the globe. Cheers to you, mate. Pat, Marc, and Ronnie J, you listeners, are actual mates and good friends and family. Go get your good morning this week. May God bless and guide your lives as you live, work, and game. Hope you have a good one. And no drama day. Take it easy. See you later. And hooroo! Until next week.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hooroo? What's hooroo?
Choo choo. Sorry, I was being the train, Marc's train. Hooroo is bye. Goodbye.
Sounds like what
In
Luke
Australian.
Kang says when he's like throwing a fireball. Hooroo!
Hooroo.